The Sphinx Code gives you a map that shows you certain archetypes in different positions that mean a certain thing for your own understanding of your psyche. So it delves into your personality structure. And what's interesting with the archetypes is there is a level of interpretation, and it's not fixed, like this is it, that's it. It's you have to interpret it a little bit wider up to the point where I have twins and they have very similar, pretty much Sphinx Code on the surface. Underneath, there's some differences, very much like in human design. They look like they have the exact same design. Underneath, there's some differences. And yet, in their archetypes, they literally go bipolar. One takes one aspect of the archetype, the other takes the other aspect of the archetype. And so you could have a Sphinx Code, and yet, or human design, and yet be completely different. And so this is where it's really interesting. Now, when you do pull your cards and you have your map, the cards end up playing a whole other level of understanding, where the interpretation in what's going on in that moment for you to either have a decision or not can be guided with a lot more practicality of actually what you're working on, whether it's your shadows, whether it's your positive aspects, whether it's your feminine, whether it's your masculine, whether it's your inner essence, whether it's your ego, whether it's your family, karma, like things like that. So you get a lot more specificity and clarity to how the divination system works within a structure and a framework of actually who you are, or what you are. I used to also say that the cards or any of these systems, it's like we know that we come from source in a sense. And if we take the analogy of a spring, a water spring up in the top of the mountain, you start with this little dribble, and then you get into a stream, and then finally a river, and then a huge river, and then finally into the ocean, right? And through that journey, that's our life. We start as a little embryo, and then we're going to be in the grave at some point. And we all know that. That's pretty much a guarantee. Along the way, it's like the tarot or the I Ching or Gene Keys might just give you posts, warnings of, hey, watch out, there's a waterfall coming. You still have to go in the waterfall, right? And you're still driving it, and that's where the intuition is key. And people who don't have their intuition, the signposts are going to be meaningless.